Ramadan. 27 days have passed, and we are here today to. It's Ramadan, it's coming to the end now, and we are absolutely in disarray. The studio are busy chit chatting in there and completely disorient you, and then they tell you, where's the mic? Where's the mic? Well, here we are. You're listening to Zed. Today, we have invited all of you to come online and talk to us and wish Eid Mubarak to your friends, to your family, to your colleagues, everywhere. So, you are listening to Zed on the Real Talk Ramadan.fm 87.7 today at 011648228086. You may call us anytime you want. 077 488 55055. Of course, everybody's here to collect some biryani, or they're coming to collect some pilau. There's a lot of commotion going on here at the studio today. There's a big queue here, so I can see them all clamoring. How are you all today? How is your Ramadan going? Towards the end now, and we must not forget that we do not maintain the virtues of Ramadan only in Ramadan. We have to keep throughout the months coming ahead, 11 months until the next Ramadan. We don't even know if we're going to be here, so we have to be always in top condition, of course. Now the whole Leicester will show up, I've been told, if we talk about food, so we got to keep it real. So do we have any calls? Who is the first person who's going to call me right now? I don't know how many of you are in that queue, but the first person who's going to call me, somebody's calling me right now. I hope he has a good Eid Mubarak message for us. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you, my brother?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Very good.
It's good to hear from you. You sound like you also, like me, got a little bit fatigued.
Stuck in peak hour traffic at 4 o'clock.
Oh,
4, 5.
You're calling me while you're in the car. You make sure your both hands are on the wheel.
Yeah. Don't worry. I won't give you my location where I am.
And you make sure you are hands free.
Yeah, my hands are on the steering wheel and the gear knob. Don't worry.
How's that possible? You've got two hands on the steering wheel. How's your other hand on the gear knob?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm all right.
Completely. So, brother, how are you today? And Eid Mubarak coming soon. Everybody is getting ready. Yesterday was the 27th night. Now we are nearly 2 days away. Eid is going to be...
inshallah, for those who are celebrating early and those celebrating after, Eid Mubarak in advance to all of you.
Well, somebody's already sent me a message saying is Eid on Sunday or Monday. Of course, I'm not qualified to answer that. So maybe you are better qualified.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't want to predict. If the moon is sighted, then there's no Eid, is there? That's the ruling.
That's as simple as that. So we have to wait till the sighting of the moon. Now, if you'd like to introduce yourself, because I don't want my listeners to say, who was that person? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I was asking if you can introduce yourself.
Myself?
Yeah.
What about it?
Somebody's just sent me a text message that they recognize this voice. Who is that? So.
Oh, they recognize the voice.
That's right.
It's the voice. Well, give it a clue. Then ask a quiz question. Whose voice it is?
Well, now it's going to be a tough one here because you're on the phone and they're not going to be able to call in. So if anybody would like to send a WhatsApp on 077 488 55055 to identify who this caller is, voice activated. That's what we are talking about now. Who is this caller?
Yeah, it's not is it AI generated? It's an actual voice.
I think you're getting carried away with this AI. Right, it's 077 488 55055. So do call in, and if you recognize this person, all I can do is I've recognized this person. I know who this person is, and if you can do likewise, he is.
So inshallah, it's been a very, very good month for Ramadan in the UK. But I think for those that haven't had Ramadan, it's been very, very difficult in other parts of the world. So just like to pray for those These are very big nights. The last 10 nights, Zahid.
Of course, last nights, and we pray for all our dear brothers and sisters in the dunya who are going through a lot of calamities at the moment. They don't have the luxury of the iftar that we enjoy here
Yeah,
every day,
that's right.
and each time.
So I think it's important that we pray for them, but we do as much as we can for others that are in need and others are desperate as well. And we can send their du'as. Others may have finances. Others can contribute voluntarily. Whatever you can do, Alhamdulillah, the month of Ramadan.
MashaAllah, I will thank all the communities, all the charities who have been working tirelessly and they have been collecting funds. And I just pray to God, inshallah, that their funds will reach the destinations they are intended to, because there are so many roadblocks, even just to send a fund or to send a truck. Their trucks are being held up, and I don't know what will happen, but really there are some horrible people out there in Egypt to stop your truck going across, and too much, really too much devastation to even comprehend. You can't imagine the devastation that these people are going through. Never ever in history you have seen atrocities being committed.
No, like never in history have we witnessed
on the mobile phone. So it's a war which has been conducted, and everybody is there to see. Like I was watching some really shocking scenes in Yemen. How do you justify that, brother Abdul Osman? How do you justify that?
I don't know. We could just pray and hope that their minds are changed and their hearts are changed as well.
Yeah, really poorest country. They say it's the poorest country in the world, and when you are firing at somebody who hasn't got the same firepower to fire back, then it's easy, isn't it? Like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very easy to do that, and that's why if somebody had that same firepower, you'd think twice before you commit an atrocity like that. And this is
people who have the firepower, they're just bullies and take advantage of the situation and are killing innocent civilians in these wars that they start themselves,
So we had a call today. He was very adamant to say that our civic engagement, our politicians, our national government, they just cancel anybody who speaks out on these atrocities. And people are really in the mode of fear. There are many journalists who want to say something that they won't. There are many stars in the industry. They're afraid to come out. And everybody's like in fear that this is not what a democracy should be doing, is it?
Well, this history is repeating itself. You used to have the Roman Empire that used to go in and march and kill innocent people in the days. Now it's the return of those when they come in black boots and suits with their armies and their gangs and their guns.
Yeah.
So, time hasn't changed, has it?
It's really putting people in the mode of fear. And fear once again is become the tool of rule. Absolutely. And I don't know which way our communities, our country is heading, but how do we continue the work of cohesion? Leicester is the beacon city. We have 60% ethnic community in the city of Leicester. How do we build those bridges when we see human beings being slaughtered all over the world? It has an effect. Every country is feeling the pain. Every country. There isn't a country in the world that is not feeling the pain. And hats off to South Africa, who took up the challenge, and they stood out and they made a real big point, being that they were also suffering atrocities and went through the period of apartheid. It's
It made a massive impact in terms of international relations. And South Africa has imprinted justice in terms of what they've said, they've actually done, you know?
And what is shocking for me again, due to the supremacy issues, that other countries have not followed them and supported them. You have in Europe, you have Norway, you have Ireland, to some degree, you have Spain. But that is not enough. The mainstream countries who have it in them to make a difference, to stop killing, they just sit back and refer to it as casualties, collateral damage, and so on. So let us now look forward to Eid and remember in our du'as all these sad people who are suffering, going through atrocities, and let us make dua for them collectively this Eid. This Eid is not...
Inshallah, it's been good talking to you. I need to...
Thank you very much. Thank you for calling in, and inshallah we shall meet up soon.
Eid Mubarak to everyone who's listening in Leicester, in the UK and all over the world, and I know you've got viewers everywhere.
Yeah.
Inshallah, Eid Mubarak to everyone, and may you have a blessed Ramadan.
Inshallah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Brother Abdul Osman. He's one of our counselors in the city of Leicester. And if anyone else wishes to call in or wish Eid Mubarak to anybody in your circle, your friends, your relatives, your community, if you want to reach out to anybody, then you can call in and we can do that. Now, you can also walk into the studio. Jazakallah khair, Brother Abdul Osman. Have a good day and enjoy the traffic.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. So that was one of our counselors once again. He was online and he is now busy preparing for his meetings and his iftar and so on. So as I was saying, if anybody wishes to do so, they can come into the studio and join me, and we can continue some discussions about what is happening. Now, what I will once again thank all the volunteers. Leicester's first iftar, if you are aware, the first street iftar took place in the city of Leicester last week, Thursday. Never has that happened before. Never that has happened before. So that is something to celebrate, the first time. And another brother has sent me a message yesterday, and he told me, please, you must do something about 8 million Muslims who were there for the First and Second World War. Now, we did do a feature on this before, but it seems to have been forgotten. And what he's saying, that we must not forget 8 million people who were fighting for the Commonwealth at that time. The British were taking people from India, from Pakistan, from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, from all the Commonwealth countries, and they were taking part in the Second World War. Now, nobody has remembered that, or nobody 4 generations later have got to be reminded. So there was a call for a monument for that in the Victoria Park, like there is one for the Sikh community, and there's a statue of Gandhi on Melton Road. So they're asking me why. Well, of course, why there isn't one for the Muslim community to remember the lives that were lost from that 8 million. Many of them were Muslim. Now, this is not in my control. I cannot tell you yes or no. It's a matter that we as a community have to take forward with our city council, with our mayor, with our police commissioner. It's a collective effort, and everyone has to come together to make a difference. So, my brother, if we meet up, we can make a plan. So everybody out there has got it in them to make a difference. So that was a good suggestion. Every suggestion has to be looked into, needs a lot of people to support. So everything that you do in unison will make a difference. So brothers just send a message saying that, well, we managed to deliver a Muslim MP in the city of Leicester, and that was because we were all united. So that's an example for you. Keep on sending the messages in, and I'll keep reading them and I'll send them to you. My studio is saying that please move your phone away from the screen, and I've attended to that straight away because they don't like the screen at the front, in front of the mic. So if you ever come into the studio, you have to adhere to the rules. Nobody can cut any corners here in the studio. They're very strict in the production room here. They're very strict. You either listen or they literally come down on you like a ton of bricks. So today, who else is going to come to the studio? We are expecting some guests, but today's a walk-in day. Anyone can come in today, or anyone can call in and say Eid Mubarak. So you can call in on our studio number 0116 4822 086, and our WhatsApp number is 077 488 55055. You're listening to Z on Ramadan.fm 87.7. Right this minute you're listening to that. So we have another call coming in, or somebody is walking into the studio very shortly. So we're expecting some guests, but as usual, they're not on time like me. On time, every time in the studio, waiting for the timer to kick off. Now, all the charities, another message has come in that there are too many charities. I say there is not enough charities doing good work. Now, remember, only the big charities are highlighted, but behind the scenes, there are a lot of smaller organizations, smaller community organizations who are making a difference, who are doing a lot of good work in the community. Here on the Ramadan Radio, we've had at least 4 different smaller charities or smaller communities who are working hard to make a difference. We had one of the early days, we had on the first Saturday of Ramadan, we had SLIC. What is SLIC? South Leicestershire Islamic Community. That's a new project. If you don't know, it's in South Wigston, or the heart of Wigston, and that is something that we all got to support. And there's another project in Ayers Monsell. Already the project has not even kicked off, and amount of hatred, the hate mail has started on social media regarding that particular project. We had a similar problem at the Peace Center in Thurmby Lodge, and mashallah, they were able to overcome that, and they do a lot of good community work which has helped them to overcome that problem. It's been there now nearly almost 10 years. It has been there in Thurmby Lodge, the Peace Center. Then we had the project in Beaumont Leys. Every time a new project that is supporting the community is there to support all communities. It's not there just to support one community. Thurmby Lodge do a lot of work there at the Peace Center. When there is any issues like we have too much snow, the volunteers come out to clear the snow out from housebound older people who cannot come out. They need their shopping doing, and they do food bank there as well. So there's a lot of collective effort between all these smaller community groups and smaller charities that we have to give them a shout out to all of them. So if you want to give a shout out to any community that you know is making a difference, then call in on 0116 4822 086. So we have a call in from one of our listeners. Assalamu alaikum. There you are. Somebody is calling in saying they're trying to get parking and they're calling me on my number. This is live radio, right? And what we have to put up with is supposed to call me in the studio 0116 4822 086. And the WhatsApp is 077 488 55055. So the issue he was discussing was he can't find parking. Now, again, these roads are full. There are cars here all of the time, every time. And even if it's a daytime, during work time, the road is full. These roads were never built for having 2/3 cars per household on Evington Road. This has been a current situation going on between the council, the residents, and the shopkeepers here, the businesses. Of course, there is always got to be a solution that we got to come up with collectively. So what I've asked all of them to do is, instead of arguing with each other, who's right, who's wrong, you complain about the noise, you complain about residents are complaining, but right now there's an issue. Some residents are complaining to me that I'm not paying £35. It used to be 25 before. Now, why have they increased the price to £35 per household? So everybody's got a different opinion. They don't want to pay the money, but they want parking restrictions. Well, the council is saying, no, it doesn't work that way. If we do restrictions, red route, we have to charge. So there's a consultancy period going through. There will be a meeting. So all of you who've got any views on this matter, put them forward to your councillors, or you have to send an email. There are signs posted all across Evington Road. You have to go and put your view forward. Don't sit outside the fence. Come in and talk about it and give your opinion. Otherwise, we'll have a problem later. And it'll be too late. This is what happens. You select your people, your councillors, your MPs, and then after that you complain. Well, you can't complain because you voted for them. You got to ride the storm. So what happens? We have many businesses on the road here, on Evington Road, and some of them are transient. I would say maybe 10%. They come and they go. But with the parking restrictions, I imagine that a lot of them will suffer lack of footfall, and then they will also have problems, and they will not meet their targets, and they will lay off staff, and that could cost a lot of money to the community and also to the country, and they'll have to go and seek another job, or they will go and sign on for universal credit. Now that is not the best of situations. So how do we solve this problem? If you have any ideas, then come and join us. We I think doing a program tomorrow. If you're a resident, I'm going to request that you come join us, and let's talk about this and find a resolve. We need a satisfactory resolve. If you are a councillor or you are part of the city council and you'd like to talk about this as well, give a viewpoint on this, then please do call us and let's see what we can come up with. So that program is tomorrow. I think it's between 4:30 to 5:30, if my studio can confirm that. Parking on Evington Road. So it's an important issue. It's been going on for quite some time, and if you go on Evington Road, on the posts you will see the signs posted on the pillars. If you go on Evington Road, you'll see them. Go and have a read. And you've also had in your homes a communication from the council regarding the parking permit. £35 for each resident. So if you have 2 cars, somebody send me a text, what if you have 2 cars? Of course, I'm the wrong person to ask that, but I would imagine 2 cars equals 35 plus 35. That's £70 you have to pay per annum. Now, that again, somebody sent me another text here saying, is it per annum or is it per month? Read your document that you've had posted to your house. Don't just rely on me to tell you everything. Is that a good answer? So guys, please check, and you will have your answers. It's £35 per month, and number of houses in each street, you can do your maths. And also another message is asking me a question. we are not even on a specific program, and people are really concerned about this matter. They're saying, I own a business, I have 4 employees, and 3 of them have cars. Where will they park? Again, it's out of my hands. It's very difficult to tell you where they will park, because one will have to pay £150 a month. No, sorry, per annum. 150 for your parking permit. If you have 3 more vehicles, that'll be 150 and times 3. Again, these are the questions you can raise at the consultation meeting, and you can bring these views forward and talk about them instead of getting ratty, getting angry, instead of shouting. We have to dialogue on this particular matter between the residents, the council, the business owners, and so on. So many businesses on Evington Road. So where does the road start? It starts literally, for the businesses, it starts after Masjid Omar, and it goes right to the top where the one-stop shop is. Just past that, a few more businesses there, right up to London Road. So altogether, I will just tell you, top of my head, is about 42 businesses. If anyone else knows better, let me know. If it's 42 or 45, it's thereabouts. We're not far away. So parking, my guest will come in now, and he'll tell me his story about his experience of parking. And here he comes in right now. You found some parking? Take a seat. Yeah. So he's come. Our guest has arrived. Our chief guest, should I say, has arrived with his luggage. Are you traveling?
It's my work.
He's brought his work rucksack with him,
Laptop
with his laptop, and he's going to show us a lot of stats today. Now take a seat. Welcome to Ramadan Radio, Brother Yaqub Ismail. So those of you who recognize the voice and you know Brother Yaqub Ismail, how's Ramadan going, Brother Yaqub?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Zed, and to all your listeners, firstly, thank you for your patience. As you can imagine, a really busy day. Trying to get through the 5 o'clock traffic to reach you was challenging. So thank you for your patience. And whilst I've got the chance, I hope everybody's had a blessed and a peaceful Ramadan. And may the Almighty accept all your good efforts and good deeds. I know there's been lots of good stuff happening locally, supporting local causes and international causes, which was fantastic to see. And as you know, Zed, you and I have been invited to a few events where we saw different communities across from Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland come together to celebrate iftar and to be in each other's company, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. And as somebody who works in community cohesion, I'm hoping, that we can build on those relationships and we can build those events to come together as one people, as one Leicester, one Leicestershire and Rutland. So look, thank you for having me.
Well, One Leicester is a brand that we are promoting, and we are working to take the One Leicester brand to create that cohesion that we often talk about, and we really want to make a huge effort to let Leicester be the beacon in our country, not only in our county or in the Midlands, but throughout the country. We want Leicester to lead the way.
And we showed that we can. We don't have to think very far back to the days of COVID, when we saw people across different communities of faith or not faith, taking care of each other. We saw people from the Highfields in Leicester driving to far places like Colville and Melton Mowbray to share food and to share kindness with, people from different communities. So it has been done in Leicester. Leicester has been known for that. Globally, we've had a reputation for multiculturalism. And I know people will have opinions about the cohesion in Leicester. We have a chat about, but I think there's some really good, strong community relations here, that have been strained over time. But I see lots of efforts to bring communities together, which is fantastic to see.
So now, yesterday we had a iftar here with our civic members and also our constabulary. And again, I will thank the constabulary the gentlemen, the team who are taking care of Evington Road.
Yeah.
There's not one individual, but there's a team of wonderful officers. They've done a fantastic job over the last 6 months, I would say, throughout 24
Absolutely. So look,
on Evington Road.
yeah. So not just Evington Road, across Leicester, Leicestershire and Rutland, each postcode and geographical area has a neighbourhood B team. Likewise, Evington Road has a B team, and the person responsible for Evington Road is Sergeant Chris Brown, a fantastic human being. He wrote the plan this year to keep the Muslim community safe over Ramadan. They call it the Ramadan Patrol Operation. And what that looks like is engagement at the different mosques and Muslim community centres, but also at key locations where there's likely to be increased foot traffic due to, shopping in the evening, or if food or communities come together. Their job is to make sure that people are safe. And we know this year on Evington Road, working with the City Council and the traffic wardens and Mohsin from the Traders Association in partnership, they kept Evington Road and the community, Muslim community in this Evington area safe. We know when you look at the stats and the data, antisocial behaviour went down. We know violent crime went down. Okay, you're always going to get traffic-related issues, but overall traffic flowed through Evington Road and people got by. And it was fantastic to see the communities and the police working together.
Now, that is what I like to hear. So definitely the number of incidents have drastically dropped, haven't they?
Yeah, as you know, last year, it doesn't, need data or stats to show. Last year we had 1 or 2 incidents that happened on Evington Road. This year you will have noticed we didn't have such significant incidents, which is a testament to the community working in partnership with the police and the Evington Road Traders Association. That partnership, that checking on each other, speaking to one another, assuring one another, and that visibility went a long way to reducing significant crime.
Now, I noticed that we have 2 or 3 more cameras on Evington Road.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing. And I
Now,
know...
what are the cameras for? They're for monitoring crime, or are they for monitoring cars?
As you can imagine, we have CCTV cameras across the whole of, in lots of places. These are not traffic cameras. They are general CCTV cameras that are controlled by the Leicester City Council, and they monitor activity, in that location, and they'll monitor the activity on Evington Road, which is a good thing. So if they spot, where, community needs support, it's captured on CCTV, but also if something does happen, there's a recording on CCTV which can prove useful if need be.
Of course, everybody's got to be mindful now, because cameras are everywhere. So you're speeding here or you're driving recklessly, then it's not possible that you will not be seen, right? That
Absolutely.
Camera is eye in the sky.
Look, the camera's there, and the camera can capture activity. So if, people are committing offences, if they're committing antisocial behaviour or using their vehicles in a disorderly way, and by that what I mean is driving up and down Evington Road with loud exhaust, speeding, causing an inconvenience to other people, if, an investigation were to commence, if there's a camera, you can imagine, it's common sense.
Now, do you have any complaints about noise?
Look, I personally have had complaints from, local residents about people being loud out on the street, being loud outside their doors, being loud outside their doors. There's other people that live in this area that aren't celebrating Ramadan, who aren't fasting, who aren't staying up for prayers, who probably have gone to bed because they may have school in the morning, or they may have work or other reasons to be awake in the daytime. And so I heard only myself a few nights ago, a resident came out and asked people to keep the voice down because she was trying to sleep to go to work in the morning. So whilst there hasn't been an overwhelming complaint, there has been general, comment around noise.
I see. So this is got to be pinpointed to a specific area of Evington Road, not the whole of Evington Road.
That's
road
right.
is noisy,
That's
is
right.
it?
All I ask, and it's a humble appeal, just be mindful. You're welcome to Evington Road, partake in the food, meet colleagues and meet friends. It's part of the activity of after Taraweeh and after Ramadan. It's fantastic to see as well. All I ask is be considerate be neighborly. There are other people in the vicinity who, you know, who may need to sleep, who may be resting, who may be with their family. Just be mindful. And what I ask people is sometimes just imagine if that were your home, or your family member's home, or a friend's home. You know, that disturbance can be unwanted. So just bear that in mind.
So now, brothers and sisters, if you are listening in right now, we need a secure community. Security is of paramount importance in the city of Leicester or anywhere else in the country, right? But particularly today we are focused on this particular area. So what measures are being taken, my brother Yaqub, for better security? The cure is not the solution. I'm talking about prevention. What preventive measurements can we as a community do collectively with the constabulary to prevent issues happening?
Now, I like that question a lot, because prevention is not a policing responsibility alone. Collectively, it takes a village to take care of a person or a child. And collectively, we have that responsibility to get involved in the prevention space. And I'll explain what I mean. But just firstly, around prevention, you've got the camera. You've got reassurance patrols, you've got hotspots patrols of key locations, you know, and then there's proactive policing targeting those who are causing harm to communities. That's one aspect. But when the other aspect that I want us to focus on is, you know, with a lot of maybe offenders or some victims, mainly around offenders, you know, it's not just that they want to commit crime. You know, this has come from a journey, you know, and they may have been exposed to adverse childhood experiences, or they may be exposed to other traumas in their lives. And, you know, when I say it takes a community to take care of one another, we need to recognize those elements that are affecting a person's behavior, whether they're taking drugs, or whether they're committing crime, or whether they're committing antisocial behavior. The communities need to collectively have their eyes wide open to recognize the signs in our communities, so that our grassroots organizations and our community groups and volunteers can work together to support. The ideal is to prevent.
Now, of course, all of you are aware that over the last 10 years from throughout the country, there's cutbacks. This is austerity measures are deployed, and as a result, a youth club may be closed down, or some parks are closing. So that leaves a huge issue where young people, they don't have an avenue to go. They don't have anywhere to go, and they gather into groups, and we get issues arising from that.
So, you know, we're talking about prevention, and you're talking about young people. There's no better way of preventing than working collaboratively. Imagine the police and the community and young people playing sport, playing cricket, you know, taking part in community activities. That sort of collaboration will prevent, because what we will be doing that way is informal mentoring, informal coaching, informally supporting. So that collaboration is so key. So if anybody's listening, if you want to engage and you want to, you know, work with the police as a community volunteer, there's fantastic opportunities to come and join us, even if it's just to engage with people who traditionally would engage with the police. You would be welcome. Even if it was to do door-to-door knocking, to reassure, to do leaflet dropping, you know, to talk to vulnerable people, in any way that you can think of volunteering. And, you know, even if it's about playing sports with kids on a Sunday morning at Spinney Hill Park or wherever, it would be really welcome.
There's a message there. Salam, what are you doing in the rise of shoplifting in our local shops, Brother Yaqub?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So you've heard about the CCTV that's gone up. I'm hoping that can be, you know, one avenue to prevent shoplifting. But also, it's that partnership between the retailers and the police. If we've got shops who are suffering certain types of shoplifting or an abundance in shoplifting, it's about, you know, police presence in those locations. And we won't always have a police presence, but we can work with the stores to help them design the interior stores to reduce shoplifting. We can work with the stores to identify shoplifters. We can work with the stores to create certain patrols at certain times to deter and prevent.
So a plan of action is possible, yeah?
Oh, yeah. And then there's stuff like, you know, Neighborhood Watch. There's stuff like the Traders Association. Like in the city centre, you know, the stores have a retail radio where the stores are talking to each other. They're alerting each other of shoplifters in the areas, which shops they've gone into, and stores themselves start taking preventive measures. I know not everybody can afford a
Of course,
security guard.
that is very important, that communication is of paramount importance between the shops. If you see a shoplifter in one shop, then alert on your WhatsApp group for all the shops, alert them.
Yeah.
And also alert the police. So that is the way forward, isn't it? There should be another group made for that.
Okay. And
There you are. I'll let you read this one.
it says, is there grants available for shops to create a robust security system? I'm going to be honest. I'm not one of those police officers who will come and make you false promises. I know through the Police and Crime Commissioner's office, you can apply for certain types of funding to support certain types of community projects, but around retail crime, I do not know the answer. I'm happy to find out and report back to your listeners, but I don't know the answer to that.
Of course, now security, we are always going to be on top of this matter, Brother Yaqub. I cannot emphasize enough the value of security. That if we are living in a secure community, secure environment, families will come out. Where there's no security, then the families will not come out. They are all afraid, like that. So there is some support available for CCTV, supporting small businesses, according to our producer on the internet.
That's fantastic to see. It's fantastic to see. And, I'd encourage listeners to go online. It's .gov.uk and have a look at, what support is available with regards to CCTV or to support, making shops or retail premises more secure. But, you talk about security in communities, said. It's a partnership. It's a partnership between communities, between the police, and I like where the conversation started. It's about prevention. I would rather we got involved in that prevention space early to identify those who are most vulnerable, those who have got the propensity or the likelihood to become involved in crime. Let's get in early at the primary school and secondary school ages to work with these young people. And, there's so much that the communities have got to offer. Our voluntary sectors, our charity sectors, community helpers themselves through informal mentoring, one-to-ones, coaching, being involved in sporting activities. And I can imagine not every young person will want to get involved in sports and activities, but our communities are varied. We have people of lots of different expertise and experience who can support our young people. So it's about prevention in a partnership space.
Now, brothers and sisters, there is lots of new tech out there in the market worldwide, and all of you are traveling. You see something good in one country, bring it here, and let's look at it and learn from it, right?
Brilliant.
And this is the way forward. Now, this is not a job for me only or for Yaqub only. If we do this collectively, we can support each other, we can communicate with each other, and we can make a better tomorrow.
My advice to people and anybody listening, and I'm not an expert in this area, but go to artificial intelligence. Upskill yourself, understand its capability and how it can support you, because we need, in the prevention space, in the community cohesion space, in that there's so much that artificial intelligence can do a lot quicker than you and I will be able to. Artificial intelligence can generate, platforms, it can create podcasts, it can create mentoring, it can create so much in an instant. It will just make us more efficient. It will make us, work faster and better together. So anybody listening, somebody asked a question about retail crime and crime prevention. Let's go to artificial intelligence, because sometimes the answers to these solutions sit in academia. They sit in, in that online world, and tap into artificial. So key message, if you're not on artificial intelligence, go and understand it, go and learn it and engage with it and let it become your friend.
Of course, I will tell all the people not to fear AI. It's here. Allah is the creator. We are the creation. Then we, from actual intelligence, created the artificial intelligence. Yes, that is the root. So it's nothing to fear about. We have to go forward and look forward to technology which can help us. What's this message? Things are so crazy, my uncle can't even put flowers outside his florist. You get some people stealing them. I see.
Now, look, to the person that sent that in, I'm happy for you to email, myself. I'm happy to connect you with the local team at Spinney Hill Police Station. It sounds like the local team at Spinney Hill Police Station need to visit your uncle. They need to talk about what's going on, what time it's going on, look at opportunities to identify the persons responsible. So if your uncle's store does not have CCTV, maybe the neighboring store might have CCTV, or we might have CCTV in the vicinity. Or based on the description alone, we might be able to identify who's responsible for this. So as a starting point, it sounds like whether, you contact, through myself, which you don't have to do, but what I would advise is contact Spinney Hill Police Station, ask to speak to the local beat officer or PCSO for the area where your uncle's shop is. Invite the PCSO or the local beat officer to visit your uncle, start the conversation, and I can assure you, you'll find value in that new relationship. And I'm hoping that together in partnership, your uncle and the local PCSO and beat officer, they will stop this crime from happening. More than happy to support. Start by speaking to the local beat team at Spinney Hill Police Station. They'd be more than happy, they'd be delighted to speak to you, and they would want to get involved in the space because it goes to increasing community confidence. Imagine you contact Spinney Hill Police Station, PCSO comes out, you guys start working in partnership, you identify a perpetrator, and you stop this from happening. I can imagine that will go a long way to increasing confidence. So somebody's asked, how can we contact them? And that's the beauty about Leicestershire Police and policing in the UK. We are so accessible. All you've got to do is go to artificial intelligence and ask, how do I contact Spinney Hill Police Station? And it will direct you. But the short answer is dial 101. Somebody will talk to you, or go online and type in Spinney Hill Police Station, and or go to Leicestershire Police and put your postcode in. It will tell you who your beat sergeant is. It will tell you who your PCSO is, who your uniformed PC is. It will tell you who they is. It will give you their email addresses. All you've got to do is email them. But if you are unable to do all of that, on your phone, just Google neighborhood link. On neighborhood link, you will be able to pinpoint your location, your postcode. It will tell you lots of information.
Okay, I'm going to cut in here. I'm going to give you an example of what I saw in China. That if an incident has happened, it's not even, you don't even ring in. They have an app, you report it on there, and immediately, automatically, the cameras activate, pinpoint when that flower was picked up, who it was picked up by, and they follow that person where he's gone, and they pick him up.
That's fantastic.
Now that is without any human connection. Now how is that for security and confidence? Now that's what I'm saying, guys. Don't be afraid of tomorrow's world, tomorrow's technology, because there's better things to come.
Let me just tell you quickly about technology in 30 seconds. You may have heard of Good SAM technology. Leicestershire Police is one of the few forces nationally that have this.
Leaders.
If you phone Leicestershire Police from your mobile phone and you are reporting a crime in progress, we have the technology to send you a link on your phone. You press that link, it activates the camera in your phone. So the person you're speaking to at Leicestershire Police can see what your camera is pointing at. They can assess the situation, get that situational awareness from your camera. And based on that, we will be able to respond accordingly. The technology is changing, and I have heard, that somewhere there's a department working on drone technology. You can imagine a time, and we're not far from it, where you could report something to the police online, and a drone could appear to have a look at what's going on, which emergency service is responsible, and how do we respond to this. It's fantastic.
Now, wouldn't it be great if you could have an evening, invite the community, all different members of the community, and share with them that, look, this is what we are doing. Come on board, share with us this technology.
So we do. So each neighborhood policing area has something called a local independent advisory group. And that we present lots of information, and we hope members of those groups go back into their communities and share this, what we share with them. So if you're listening and you are interested and you want to become, just go to Leicestershire Police and type in LIAG, which means Local Independent Advisory Group. That way, whichever your postcode you live in, you can connect with the police command in that area. You'll be invited to, to regular meetings where they will tell you about the local priorities, what they're doing, but you can be involved in designing service delivery by talking about your ideas and how we can make things better. And, you build a stronger relationship and you understand a lot better what's going on and how you can support policing. Google Leicestershire Police, LIAG. It's a fantastic way of being involved, of having your voice heard.
Of course, now we are living in a very diverse community here. Just on Evington Road, I can guarantee you that there are more than 20 different diversities from one end of the road to the top of the road. And this is every inner city in the whole world is like that, because globally people are moving from A to B and so on.
So I think Evington Road is catching up to Narborough Road. So you will have no academic research done by the London School of Economics highlighted Narborough Road as probably one of the most diverse roads in the country. I think in their academic research they identified nearly every nationality was within the vicinity of Narborough Road. But when you look at Evington Road now, we heard last night Bulgarian community, Albanian community, Zimbabwean community, Malawian, Algerian community. You've got the whole world on this road, different religions, no religions. What a fantastic place to come and visit,
In fact, play that at home with your children to map out the A to Z of different communities in the city, and some of you are going to get lost at D. So A for Algerian and so on, right? So there are people from every single country here in the country, in the city of Leicester. So have a go.
And the beauty is that, guess what? They just want to get on. They want to do well for their families. They want to do well for their children. They want to live in peace. They want to live neighborly. We've come from values where, people respect one another. And that's the beauty of Evington Road in Leicester. Traditionally and at heart, communities just want to get on.
So security is of paramount importance. I'm glad that you came today, and I'm glad that we made this as the focal point of our development tomorrow, the way we are going as a community and what we need to do collectively, take responsibility, all of us together. So we will put some good programs together. We'll discuss them with you. And if any of you have got any ideas, then please bring them on and let's collectively put our heads together.
Just very quickly, last point on security. You will have heard good news travels fast. Bad news travels faster. Fake news travels the fastest.
Now, you got 12 seconds, so I wouldn't like you to say Eid Mubarak to all our listeners.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on the radio show. Eid Mubarak to everybody celebrating. May the Almighty accept all your
brothers and sisters.